Okay, welcome back to the tutorial. So at the end of our previous tutorial, we got our dialogue all finished and even faded out a little bit, but we've got to do some cleanup here of our code and of a couple of our sections of code here, one of which has to do with this fading out scene, which I think is messing up a few things, actually. So let's bring up our fade the screen external event here. And let's see how this is set up, and I think we could probably set this up a little bit better. One thing we could do is we could actually remove this section here and put it into its own cutscene. Remember, this is the beginning of our game, this cutscene here. And what we might do is remove that so that this can become literally just fading the screen and nothing else. So if we do that correctly, this will just fade the screen, take control of Bob away from the user for a little bit, and then restore it once the cutscene or the fade screen here, is over. That's probably a better way to do this. So how should we go about this? Well, we can go to Project Manager, External Events, and we can create a cutscene for our opening. We can do that now. Cutscene. A cutscene opening scene, maybe, and we'll associate it with the basic kingdom room because that's where we're doing it in the basic kingdom room. And let's copy this. Actually, let's cut it. And we'll take and paste it in here. And now let's open this up and let's see what we're actually doing here. So let's see if we can get this to run again. Let's open up our basic kingdom room. And let's go to our events here for basic kingdom room. And let's say at the beginning of the scene, we've created our scene here. It's good. If it equals 0, we've got all these timers going on and off here. Okay, I think this will probably still work, but let's check here by associating it with our basic kingdom room here. We still need to associate our external event. Let's create another grouping here. Let's move it down. And this is cutscenes. And let's make our link. Opening scene, there we go. All right, let's see if this will still run correctly. All right, good. So that still ran correctly there. Now I have control of Bob here, which is bad, right? That's a no-no. We don't want that. And I think we're moving toward fixing that now. So we've got our cutscene now separated from our fade the screen here. When we call check for fade, we want to check for a couple of things. If start of game is equal to 1, we have our timer here of fade my screen. See, I think we want to probably separate this a little bit here. Instead of giving control back to the user here, we should probably give it back to the user here when Jane and Henry.complete is equal to 2 again. We give the control back to the user. Let's see if that changes our issue there. Yep. Okay, we lost control of Bob again. Let's I'm going to keep hitting the return key to move through this a little bit quickly. Alright, this is the last bit. Alright, we've got control of Bob again. Good. So we now know, or at least we can... Oh wait, I lost control of Bob. And that's because when we ran the fade screen here, we took away control of Bob here. Cutscene start is equal to 0. So it worked here for cutscene, for being in the middle of a cutscene. What it didn't work is for when cutscene start is equal to 0, but that's because I don't think we ever changed cutscene back to 0. And let's talk about that for a second, because that's going to help us out in 2 ways. You might recall that when we ended our tutorial last, we went to the sign. Well, let me show you what I mean really quick. I'll burn through this opening for a second to make my point. And we still want to make it so the user can skip through all of this. Okay, so I don't have control, that's good. Let's keep going. Okay, we've got control of Bob now. When I go to this NPC, I'm supposed to be able to break free and then the dialogue will go away. That's actually because cutscene start is not set back to 0 as well. So we've got 2 problems going on with cutscene start here. So let's go into our cutscene, and we need to make, in our variable section here, when we're done with our screen, we need to set cutscene back to 0, so the software knows we're out of our cutscene. So that's gmanager.cutscene start equals 0. That alone should fix a multitude of sins here. Let's burn through this again. Okay. Alright, so we've got control of Bob. I'm going to go up here. Good, that works. Now what about in here? Alright, good. We got control of Bob again. So we're getting, well, let's see how we did when we come back in here. Good.